Months now since President Trump and his administration have been working to make America safe again. As you know, the Department of Homeland Security is tasked with making sure that we have a secure border, which we have overwhelmingly been successful.
Imagine the city you call home, the familiar streets, the local parks where your children play, the corner stores you visit every week. Now imagine that those same streets are harboring a hidden danger. Violent criminals shielded from the law not by the shadows, but by the very policies of the leaders elected to protect you. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. Today, the Department of Homeland Security is pulling back the curtain on what it calls a grave threat to national security. This is the story of a sweeping, decisive mission to reclaim our communities and restore the rule of law in America. Just 7 months into the new Trump administration, a monumental objective has been met. Under the direction of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, our nation has achieved what many experts long deemed impossible: 3 consecutive months with 0 recorded illegal crossings at our southern border. For the first time in modern American history, the tide has been stemmed. But this mission extends far beyond the sun-baked stretches of the border. Its focus is now turning inward, toward the interior of the country. The administration has made it unequivocally clear: prioritizing American safety means enforcing the laws on the books. In a massive, coordinated effort, ICE and Homeland Security investigations have systematically identified and apprehended hundreds of thousands of non-citizens with criminal convictions or pending charges for serious offenses, crimes ranging from homicide and sexual assault to narcotics trafficking. The stated goal is simple: to ensure that every American family can live with peace of mind, free from the threat of preventable violent crime. While federal officers are executing this nationwide operation, they are hitting roadblocks in unexpected places. In a recent press conference, Secretary Noem traveled directly to Illinois to confront Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, accusing them of undermining federal law and jeopardizing their own citizens with dangerous sanctuary policies. Let's put a face to this conflict. DHS has highlighted several recent cases from Illinois where ICE, acting alone, arrested individuals they label the worst of the worst. First, Hector Bonaparte, a 42-year-old non-citizen from Mexico, previously convicted of predatory sexual assault of a child under 13. Next, Jarvin Flores Santos, a 40-year-old from Honduras, taken into custody for the aggravated sexual abuse of a minor. Then, Walter J.B, a Polish citizen convicted of attempted murder and aggravated domestic battery after a brutal attack where he stabbed his wife and daughter. And finally, Don Gay Silas, a 33-year-old from Micronesia with multiple convictions for driving under the influence and pending charges for reckless endangerment. Secretary Noem asserts that these individuals and thousands like them would remain at large, posing an imminent threat if it were solely up to local authorities. The numbers from Chicago are startling. In the last 7 months, ICE has issued over 1,664 detainers for violent criminals in the city's jails, a 106% increase over the previous administration. A detainer is simply a request to hold an individual for 48 hours to allow ICE to assume custody. Yet, local authorities honored only 8% of those requests. That means for every 100 detainers issued for individuals charged with serious crimes, 92 were released back into the community against the advisement of federal law enforcement. But this enforcement does not come without a significant cost borne by the officers on the front lines. These are men and women who leave their families each day to execute warrants on potentially violent individuals. According to DHS, assaults on ICE officers have skyrocketed by an almost unbelievable 1,000%. Secretary Noem directly attributes the surge to the reckless and dangerous rhetoric from politicians who champion sanctuary policies, which she claims emboldens criminals to resist arrest. Despite the escalating danger, the resolve within federal law enforcement appears stronger than ever. A recent initiative to hire 10,000 new ICE officers was launched. The response was nothing short of overwhelming. In less than 1 week, over 80,000 applications poured in. Former acting ICE Director Tom Homan reported he had to shut down his personal LinkedIn account after being flooded with messages from retired officers and veterans eager to rejoin the agency under its new mission-focused leadership. And the results of their work are tangible. During her Illinois press conference, Secretary Noem stood beside a table displaying 20 kilograms, or 44 pounds of pure fentanyl, seized by her agents right there in the state. To put that in perspective, that single seizure contained enough lethal doses to kill 10 million people, more than the entire population of the Chicago metropolitan area. This, she argues, is the real-world consequence of unenforced immigration laws and the life-saving impact of federal intervention. This aggressive strategy has predictably drawn a deep line in the sand. Proponents hail these actions as a long-overdue restoration of law and order. They point to the data, like the 17% drop in homicides across 30 major cities, as definitive proof of success. They argue that for too long, political correctness has been prioritized over the safety of citizens. Conversely, critics raise concerns that such a broad enforcement sweep risks profiling, erodes trust between immigrant communities and law enforcement, and diverts critical resources. The administration has clarified its focus. Secretary Noem emphasized that over 70% of all non-detained individuals arrested by ICE have pending criminal charges or prior convictions. For those without a criminal record, the administration is heavily promoting a voluntary departure initiative dubbed the 20 Million Campaign, a reference to the estimated 20 million illegal immigrants in the country. This effort has reportedly led to over 1 million individuals self-deporting. The public response, particularly on social media, has been fiercely supportive of the administration's efforts. The sentiment echoes a deep-seated frustration with sanctuary policies, which many view as a dangerous dereliction of duty by local leaders. The debate over immigration, security, and jurisdiction is one of the defining issues of our time. The administration has drawn its line, betting that a muscular enforcement strategy is the key to a safer America. The fight to define the soul of our communities as places of sanctuary or as bastions of law and order is escalating every day. Where do you stand? Is this a necessary crackdown to restore public safety or a dangerous overreach? Share your thoughts and join the conversation in the comments below. For continuing coverage on this critical story, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications.